Welcome to tonight's episode of Talking Shh. I said, welcome to tonight's episode of Talking Shh. IT.
We cover digital audio workstations and music tools. We explore theory, gear, and 82. How to arrange, compose, and the art of arranging. Taking a look at AI and how the times have changed. On a PC or a Mac, and even with a mobile device, we'll be talking about it all every Thursday night. From software to plugins and synths that entice. Dive deep into tech and let creativity take flight. Talking, IT. We're talking, IT. Come and join in and have some fun. It's highly educational with a lot to learn. From bedroom producers to seasoned pros, we're breaking it down so knowledge grows. Whether you're a DJ or a beat-making wizard, we got the tips and tricks to make your sound sizzle. Mixing and mastering, that's our jam. With the tutorials and tips on how much RAM. Get the best quality from your setup and gear. Tune in every week and lend us your ear. We're talking, IT. Come and join in and have some fun. It's highly educational with a lot to learn. We're talking, we're talking, IT. We're talking, IT. Every Thursday night on Angified. We cover digital audio workstations and music tools. We explore theory, gear, and 82. How to arrange, compose, and the art of arranging. Taking a look at AI and how the times have.
We're talking shh.
I got,
IT.
I got a looper, and
It's a loop, did a loop, loop, loop.
I pulled an Ange.
That's all right. I looped too. When I was, did you hear me? We're gonna talk shh.
Shh.
IT. Sorry.
Okay, I'm situated.
That's good. So tonight we're gonna talk some shh IT on genres. Or is that genres? Genres.
I thought it was
Genres.
Genrays.
That's right. That's right.
Gene Ree.
Genre.
No, that sounds like a French guy.
Gene Ray.
Canadian.
Jean
Well,
Ray.
genre.
Yeah,
I
that
like
would be the Canadian.
Yeah. So, we've got lots of things coming here to Angified. Not only are we going to be talking about genres, but we're going to be talking about this. What's a genre showdown?
Well,
I'm going to pin this up here so you guys can take a look at where you need to go to either register and try to become a contestant because there's only 32 spots. Okay. Or if you are interested in becoming a judge, there is only one spot left open. And so you need to go ahead, fill out those forms, get them in to Rusty and Coco so that way we can go ahead and we can get this genre ball rolling.
I'm gonna paste this sign up link
There you go.
in the chat. If you can drop that into the
Into the chat, you know it. And this
Now-
is welcome. So if you are a musician, you are an artist, please go ahead, try and enter in. If you think you know what a genre is and you can make any genre of music. Are you well-rounded? Okay. I'm going to keep going to that to keep the
Well,
ball rolling.
the beauty of this contest, because I did it the last time they did it over the summer, and what's awesome about it is it will make you well-rounded. Like going through the challenges, will test you. That you'll try music you might not never have done. You'll learn to collaborate with people that you probably never collabed with. I everybody that I collabed with in that contest was a new band labber for me.
Well, that was totally awesome, getting to watch all of our amazing fam and artists that we've watched, over the last 5 years, totally evolve and change around into different genres. Maybe a genre that we heard them at first start out with when we first started, creating music with them. They were, making rock music, and now they're making like EDM or pop music, mixed in with something else, or they've totally. Oh, Cole's got his hands up.
That was my progression,
Ah.
girl. That was my progression, girl. Oh my gosh. But hey, so no, it's super important, guys. You should definitely do it because you know what? In this case, the world's your oyster. You can do any genre you want. I mean, come on.
Step out the box.
What's in the
Step out the
box?
shell.
What's in the box?
Listen, guys, if you're not making Italian cult psychedelic or proto prog, don't even talk to me, okay? Because I don't even know what they are until I just Wikipedia them. So
Oh no,
Yeah.
99. It's not Whip It Out Wednesday. It's Talking Shh IT. The title just says Whip It Out Wednesday.
Does it? Did they get me again?
Yeah, so we're stuck in yesterday.
I guess. Wow. All right, I'll fix that there. No, yep, we are stuck on Wednesday. All right, I'll fix that up in a moment. So, as you guys yeah, talk some more go for it.
Well, and for those over on BandLab, if they go to at what's a genre, that's the official account for the WAG contest. You want to be following this. For those who want to sign up for it, right at the top, the pin post, this is the form to fill out. You're going to want to do it soon because there's already been 32 people who've registered, but Rusty's going to go through them and pick 32. So you want to get in there in the next couple of weeks if you hope to get into the contest.
Right.
And I've got a couple of videos that he put together. This is the first one.
Let me pin it up. Whoop, I lost my pin. There it is.
This is the first one that explains a little bit about when it's going to start. It's going to start on February 1st. Everybody will be notified by the 31st if they're going to be in it, and round one's going to kick off on February 1st.
Everybody wants to join. Everybody wants to join to watch the genre showdown. Everybody wants to join. Everybody wants to join to watch the genre showdown.
and that song.
Looper.
Loop number 2. Loop number
That's quite a bit of times that you did the looper.
It's because my video player's set to loop.
Super pooper scooper looper, bro.
Loop with the loop and the loop, the loop, the loop.
And this is actually Rusty enticing the users.
Is he enticing the users? Hold on. Here we go.
Genres from all corners of the globe. We're internationally known. Have you signed up yet? Do it. Don't be scared. It's just a wag, baby.
Tell me that's not enticing.
As he's wagging. Wag on down.
Like
wag on
swag
down the
without the S.
road.
It's a wag, all right? Just
That's
hop on the
right.
wag in. Be a part of the wag, okay?
That's right.
We don't
Wag
wagyu. We just make wags because we're cool. Okay.
Wagdu, is that like kung fu?
No, wagyu is like it's a form of a high quality beef. Wagyu.
Oh, it's like ragu except beef.
Yes, yeah, it's like really almost like a sashimi kind of version of beef in a way. Esque.
So you can find that on BandLab at What's a Genre. You'll find the page, you find all the details. He's got some highlights. You can also find some of the songs from the last contest to give you an idea of like what people did in the previous ones. And that opening song that Rusty was using there, that was Jordy Fonz. I recognize him.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah, I think he's the one who actually won, like the first one. Shinji, I think, got the second one.
Yeah, I think Shinji got the second one.
No, he
Hey,
made sure.
99, refresh the YouTube for me. It should say Talking IT now with Tony and Fam at Colseth. We'll make sure I have that right. Sorry, my bad.
We talk about IT problems here on this, actually, guys. Just fun fact.
No, you got it. Good job, Ange.
What did Fate do? What did I do?
You fixed the title.
Oh, yay!
He works.
All right, all right, all right. Got it.
So before the show, we were looking at a couple of different videos to help explain, what is a genre? Because that's the question that Rusty and Coco, initially when they started this, it was to help people think about like different styles of music. And a lot of musicians tend to just jump into the genre they like and play the music that they're comfortable with. But it's a good thing for a musician to actually get exposed to other genres. Even if it's not necessarily something you like, it'll make you a better musician to understand the techniques of that genre.
Well, and not only that genre and the techniques, but what exactly is that genre and break it down because there's so many subgenres of genres as well. And, when it comes to a genre, if I tell you country, well, then I'm going to be looking for specific sounds, or the judges are going to be listening for specific qualities that make up country music.
And even when you say country, are we talking country rock? Are we talking bluegrass? Country pop,
We're
country
talking
hip hop
neo-traditional.
nowadays. Country folk is
Rockabilly.
yeah. I mean, we were looking, and I just saw one video that had 150 subgenres of rock and metal. So
Yes.
I would imagine country is probably just as high up there.
Oh, I'm sure. I remember a couple years ago we were looking at genres and subgenres, and there was so many, like it was like mind-blowing then.
Yeah, I think if you were to go across every single genre and subgenre, there's thousands.
Oh yeah,
It's
it
got
was
to be in the
insane.
thousands. But
But there's always still one more to be discovered.
there are
Sorry.
certain ones. There are certain ones that are, to me, the foundational genres. Like rock is a foundational genre. Well, it's derived from blues, actually, but it's a genre that stands out on its own. It's not like the subgenres where you start to blend two genres together to make a subgenre, but the genres that actually make up part of the blend are the foundational ones. Pop is a foundational genre. Jazz is a foundational genre.
As
Jazz is a massive foundational genre along with bluegrass. I mean, blues especially influenced rock and roll. We all know this, right? Like that's the backbone of it.
Yeah.
And then that transpired to 1,000 other things. But yeah, I mean, everything is derived from something. No matter what, you can deduce things down to its simplest form, and no matter what you'll find is a form. So
Mm-hmm.
whether that be a melodic motif, whether it be a vocal pattern, a timbre, a beat, instrumental choice usage, a phrasing, ABA form, for example. These are all things that indicate what the genre could be.
And that's where I think you start to identify why certain genres are what they are. When you get into the motifs and the instruments, the one video I was watching talked about drums and how important, like in certain genres, the difference between this genre and that genre is the drums and the drum approach.
I mean, what is punk rock with a 2/4 beat, right?
Yeah, yeah. Or punk rock when it comes to vocals. Depending how a singer sings, it can go from punk rock to like hardcore metal. And even though the music still sounds punky, if the singing style is drastically different than the normal punk singing, you're not actually doing punk at that point because you're changing it with the vocal technique.
And then punk even went as far as to pretty much create metalcore in a way, or hardcore. That was
Yeah,
derived from that, which then
punk definitely has a lot of influence in those metal genres.
Yeah.
You hear it throughout the metal music all over the place.
Yeah, we can go to 70s, 80s punk, which is like the oi punk, really revolting, no, 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 that kind of stuff, into more like politically driven stuff, to again up to metal.
If you think about it, like the 70s punk was very raw and in your face.
Yeah.
Fast forward to the 90s where like the punk started to become poppy and
whiny and
green,
Green
whiny.
Yeah.
Like it didn't have the same rebellious attitude that it had in the 70s, but it was
Right.
still punk.
It was more refined, I think, or more commercialized in a sense. It was more pop punk. Yeah, look at that. Ooh,
Yeah.
segue now. But yeah, I mean, look at there's a lot of names. There's so many.
Well, I have to say, Rolo's getting ready for what's a genre. He's over on the chat right now on YouTube, and he said he just practiced for the WAG today. He asked Chat GPT to give him a random genre. It gave him soul, so now he's creating a soul track.
And I'm so glad that Rolo's getting in on this one because if there's anybody we've covered over the years who just hits any genre he wants,
Yeah.
any theme he comes up with, his versatility across the genres, he's going to have a blast with this contest.
I would actually be emotionally disturbed in the best way possible, Rolo, if you did a soul song that was a genuine soul song, that was not Rolo Knox like splashed with the the weird ass stuff. If you did something like that, I would be like,
What? You're talking about taking the Rolo out of the Rolo.
yeah, because imagine how the mind f that would be. That would be insane to hear, like the most sincere, genuine. It would be crazy. That would be actually, dude, number one.
No, let your soul
I
go,
don't.
I love the
Rolo.
Rolo Knox. I do. I love the formula. But imagine,
So you want to see Rolo without the Olo?
I want to see Rolo actually without the formula
You
for a
want to see
second,
him?
and just I want to hear it. Like I just want to like. I mean, I know I have heard a few. I think genuine Rolo Knox songs. I'm pretty sure. From watching on his videos and stuff, I've seen him. I think play guitar and do some pretty real stuff. But I don't know. That would be the biggest mind bender ever to see. Like, oh, you expect this? You want to hear about Twinkies? You're not going to hear that. No more food, and just a real soul song. That would be wow. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't mind hearing a soul song about Twinkies, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think Rolo can roll anything. But
I think I think a Twinkie needs to be a guest on the Rolo Polo show podcast.
You mean Twinkie the kid?
Like how he had
The
tuba
little
and he
Twinkie with the
did.
cowboy hat?
No, I'm talking about like a Twinkie, an actual Twinkie. I'd like Rolo. I'd like to see if you can get a Twinkie to do an interview with you on the Rolo Polo podcast. Like, yeah, that would be awesome. I want to hear from the center of the cream.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Sorry, I love Rolo.
she's a
Oh,
devil
I do too.
dog.
That role is amazing. But I'm just saying, it would be really like, what if it was just like, imagine him just like boop, stripped down and just actually sincere. You're like, what is this? Like, would that be a parody? We wouldn't even know. How could you couldn't even, you wouldn't even tell. Like, what? Be yeah.
Actually, that first video that you showed me, and the one that I have loaded up here,
Uh-huh.
that kind of reminds me of like the Rolo approach to different personalities that he represents in his songs. This video, which is coming from Frank James over at Frank James on YouTube. Good man, good at name. And this channel is really cool. I started looking through it, and this guy's got videos to cover
Yes.
every different type of personalities. He's really testing his acting skills. 16 personalities last to leave the circle wins. If big businesses were people. He's got so many videos here that cover different personalities in different situations, but this one was hilarious. If music genres were people, how would they act? And I think he does a really good job of representing the genres that he goes through here. Like, he really does like manifest the genre as a personality. Let's bring this up.
I believe it's up.
Guys, Tiffany just asked me to put on some music while we hang out, and I have no idea what to play. You gotta help me.
First time talking to a lady, huh?
No, I just get nervous about playing music for people because I don't want them to think I have bad taste. Don't worry, I've been engineered by 40 Swedish people in a laboratory to appeal to the masses. You're safe with me.
Okay, perfect.
No, you unrefined clown. Who, me? Yes. Do you really believe that your lady friend wants to hear the same four-chord drivel that she hears echoing down the aisles of Walmart? Statistically, yes. Nay, I say.
Dig this, I'll give you cool cats 4,000 chords in half the time.
Shouldn't you be lulling people to sleep in an elevator somewhere? Can we stay on topic here? I just need to pick some music to set the mood.
Pick
for
it.
hanging out. That's all we're doing. If you really want to impress the ladies, gotta bump a little rap in your new Mercedes.
Uh-huh.
Are you just saying that because it rhymes? Yes. Come on, why would you want to hear a guy talk over music? You might as well put on a pod. Rock and roll is dead.
Uh-oh.
It's been dead for years.
Yep,
really.
that's a
Sorry,
rapper.
Guys.
It is.
Lost my cool.
Don't sweat it, daddy.
Okay, you know what? I think I'm just
And of
gonna put on
course,
white
they gotta
noise.
give him
Now,
a
hold
cat
up now. I'm
gun.
gonna teach you how to be a man.
Okay, I am a man.
Now, this
Now,
country
there's
guy
only
cracks
three
me
things
up.
you need in
Right.
life: your truck, your dog, and our school curriculums and because the Constitution says mole people, whatever floats your boat, just don't do it in front of me. Okay, I think I'm just gonna bang.
He's one of those
Someone say
hickhoppers.
headbanging?
I wish I hadn't said it.
Put me on. I'll give her such a headache she won't notice your lack of social skill.
Why are you all roasting me? You're supposed to be roasting each other. That's the format of these skits. You seem stressed. Just put me on in the background and don't think too hard about it. You're more boring than Jazz.
I'm about to blow my top on this jive axe monkey farmer.
Well, I've got a tune for ya.
Really don't have a good feeling about this.
Oh, my little girl, she's sweet as heaven. 2 weeks shy of turning 11. Shaboom! Thank you. Hey, everything okay in there? Yep, just a second. Are you sure? Because it sounds like a bunch of abstract entities are giving you bad advice.
I said just a second!
Okay, that's a red flag. Oh, maybe it was closed-minded of me to try to pick just one genre. What are you saying? Maybe the best music doesn't need to be categorized.
You don't mean...
I do. Come on, folk trying to rockapella disco step. Let's show her what a trailblazer I am. She is gonna be so confused.
Strangers come to town. They call him Mr. Frank James.
If you don't know how to make chords, this is it.
Can drag one of these chord progressions in. Boom, just like that.
Oh, I already know how to make
And
chords.
boom,
The kid's that simple.
just like that.
That's at Frank James over on YouTube, and that's what
Explain
a
his
genre.
genres.
That's what a genre. That's what a genre would act like.
Oh, yes. How do you say that word properly?
Mighty Morphing Powered Genrays.
Genres. There it
Yeah.
is. And what's your flavor, Genray? Sorry.
It's
Beam me
actually
up,
it's
Genray.
what's my
Sorry.
flavor Genray? It's the jazz genre, I guess.
It's Godzilla versus the genre.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mecha Genray versus Godzilla X 5 4 3 2 1.
There it is.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2,
In
1.
space,
Blast off.
but it's a prequel, so yeah, I don't know how that makes sense, but
It makes sense.
let's retcon it and bring it back. Do it again.
So, what's the genre to you? What you else got over there, Tony? Because we were putting this together kind of last minute.
Well, these two that I have, this one explains a music genre in 10 minutes. Well, every music genre. So
Every music genre?
it
Every
actually
music genre?
covers a lot if it's covering every music genre.
Oh, dear. Okay. That's a
And
lot of genres.
Yeah,
I'm
and
actually
guess what?
looking at
I just
these
made a new genre
chapters.
right now, so it's wrong.
All right, let me pin it up there. And action.
Oh, an iceberg, yeah, of course.
What the Flappers would have gotten turned to if they had FL Studio in the 30s. Music that was either made for your Nintendo or made to sound like it. A kind of candy that fizzes and makes your mouth tingle. Life is a highway, I want to ride it. Music made for your Nintendo, but it doesn't necessarily have to sound like it. When you're trying to remember a song from the 80s but can't quite put your finger on the name. Reggae, if you replace the weed with coke, pairs well with punk. A self-explanatory umbrella term that you probably liked in middle school. The heaviness of metal mixed with the fast-paced rhythms of hardcore punk, occasionally stretched out into something more progressive. A stepping stone between the soy boy pop of the British invasion and the edginess of heavy metal. Basically sounds like hard rock, but sometimes has demonic imagery on the cover that makes your mom afraid of it. Ska, if you replace the coke with Molly.
Is that Molly Ringwald?
Ironic how it's called future bass when all it's doing is keeping dated sounds alive. Oh!
It's your turn, Cole. Oh.
Guitar Hero Expert Mode Core. What rap sounds like after blowing DMT clouds. An oxymoron. That rattling you heard coming from everyone's car a few years ago. Rap music minus the raps. Rock that retrospectively incorporates more blues
music
chords
minus
and
the
improvisation, even though rock was an offshoot of blues in the first place. Punk was becoming not punk enough, so they had to give it a different name. Borderline interchangeable with alternative rock, just with more
Not punk
Latin
enough.
glasses. Punk after punk bands realized that the genre was becoming too homogenous, and so they brought out the kazoos.
Post-punk.
Abides by a pop music structure,
Hey, kazoos
but,
came out
again,
prior. We
Latin
did those in, like,
An internet
kindergarten.
aesthetic meant to critique commercialism and bring
Or
back
as Tony would
nostalgia.
say,
Typically, it's
kindergarten.
either all you listen to or you don't listen to it at all, and I am in the latter camp, unfortunately. Though if you have any recommendations, please comment. When people finally figured out that you could make catchy music out of bleeps and bloops, and so they embraced it with a futuristic aesthetic, solves any argument you could possibly have with your grandparents about aux privileges. When your DAW is broken, but you think it sounds cool, so you leave it in anyway. What nerds called hyperpop before hyperpop became a thing.
Do.
British pop music that's way overproduced, but still has acoustic guitar parts that you can play at parties to try and get laid. Alt rock with as many guitar pedals as possible, forcing the musician to gaze at their shoes. Bleepy bloopy pop music that'll give you a cavity if you listen to it too much. Metal with extra noise thrown in just to piss off people who don't like metal that much more. The music that plays during the intros of those educational VHS tapes that you might have watched in elementary school. Short for adult-oriented rock because you have to be a divorced dad to like it. Music meant to be played in the background while you do homework or cry or or whatever it is you're doing. If you gave a barbershop quartet rock instruments. Music that makes you feel like you're in a long commercial for antidepressants. Growly metal recorded on a potato that you could still play on Radio Disney. Music inspired by Intelligent dance music that can only be enjoyed by intelligent people who want to have an intelligent dance party in the library
I just
by
want to have fun
themselves.
making these
The
sound
cooler younger
effects.
brother of synthwave. Rap songs that Darman would approve of. Amplifies the heaviness of heavy metal by letting the drummer go as hard as the guitar player. That one kid that started freestyling to the fire alarm. Minecraft YouTuber intro
Hey, that was
music.
you, Cole.
If you're not a nerd. Walking home late night drunk while beatboxing to yourself.
That
The
would
name
definitely
dubstep
fit
got
you, Cole.
bastardized by Americans, so they had to change it to the broadest name possible. Eventually, even the most hardcore of punks realized that having hooks in your song is cool.
Fugazi
Rock that's more
repeater.
centered around arpeggios than chords. I feel
Jangle
like a direct
pop.
line could be drawn between this and Midwest emo. When there's a mosh pit going on at chess club.
Can't
I'm not
spell
too familiar
Jangle
with
without
J-pop
Ange.
either, though this
That's
is my most
right.
played song of 2021. What I imagine Muscle Man from regular show listens to. Half the reason anybody gives a shit about Steven Spielberg. Noise music if it were catchy. Simultaneously the nerdiest and most hardcore rap subgenre. Electronic slow jams, baby. Same drugs, new generation. This is what concerned parents heard when they listened to Kiss for the first time. Electronic dance music that smells sweaty. Jazz's trap era. When the school musical gets a little too scary. Noise rock for cowards who can't handle noise rock. Pop music made out of power chords on an electric guitar. Pop music made out of power chords on a Donkey Kong machine. Pop music made out of power chord. Pop music made out of
Oh,
Turns
I
out
want to
rock
do
music
that
wasn't
one.
actually an art form until they brought out the violins and lyrics about BDSM. When you got 20 minutes to kill but don't have the patience for classical music.
As if all art isn't already inherently political.
Literally the two best genres coming together into one, and it makes me appreciate the improvisational and collaborative elements that both of them have to offer. This is what plays in my head when I'm spaced out during class. One of the rawest forms of expression that music has to offer, and will get you pumped to protest the Reagan administration.
Lo-fi hip-hop, beats to relax and study too.
Man, this is so relaxing and soothing to my soul in a really dark and spiritual
Oh,
level.
they get
I
you,
hope the
Ange.
person who
They
made it
really
isn't a
get
Nazi.
you.
Getting turnt during the Obama years. Music that is as colorful as the outfits the performers wear. Electronic music where fast drumming takes the lead. Works well on the Weather Channel. Harry Potter music. When you want to get your ass kicked and be confused at the same time. Snoopy Doopy Fruity Loopy found the Doritos. Scoopy Poopy Goopy Booby eating all the Fritos. New wave for those who were too edgy for new wave. Punk in its purest form because it didn't have any established tropes yet. A single chord being held on an electric guitar for minutes on end. Makes for good music to zone out to. We can group this in with IDM, conscious hip hop, and any other genre with the word art in it for hiding great music under a really pretentious and dumb genre tag that's extremely reductive toward the rest of the genre. A step between the catchiness of bebop and the free
Oh, he totally don't get me.
Basically UK dubstep, but the rhythms are slightly less in your face.
Why?
I
Black metal
honestly think
actually
anyone who can tell you the
relaxes him,
difference
too.
between these genres is lying. Unless you're this guy. Dancing Through the Pain. One of the slowest,
Oh, but that
angriest, and
laugh.
dirtiest genres there is. It's like swimming in a pool full of sludge. The rap equivalent of black metal. A quiet beat-based form of electronic music that should be played in every aquarium everywhere. Quirky Japanese pop music that is as unpredictable as it is smile-inducing. The most hardcore form of punk ever before
Oh,
hardcore
they
punk was
listen
even
to
a
Spar
thing.
Legacy.
When you want to feel like you're in Castlevania. Take a dance song and then remove all of the layers except for the bass, and then go from there. Despite the name, it's basically just down-tempo electronic music with more stuff added on top, and the only thing it has in common with hip-hop is that the drums are kind of similar sometimes. Also, it's very sexy. Sounds like the longest game console boot-up screen ever. It's not just noise, Mom, there's melody! Evil dance music. When your CD player is broken, but you think it sounds cool, so you leave it on anyway. You can plug an amp into anything if you try hard enough. Minimalism is a cool genre. Minimalism is a cool genre. Minimalism is a really cool genre. Minimalism is a cool genre. This is what bugs listen to. House that's more centered around sub bass and jazz samples.
He looped a loop
As we all
too.
know, makes it more deep and intellectual. Notes can be played on
Yeah, but he
feedback,
meant
too.
to do
Ambient
that.
music that doesn't rely on synthesizers. sometimes. Metal that makes you feel like you're in a long commercial for antidepressants. Dance music that'll have you making out with everyone in the club. Using the sounds of a cassette tape as an instrument.
So
Can't do that
true.
with Spotify. Got an ad for toothpaste a quarter of the way through the album and didn't even realize it wasn't part of the album. Rock where the rhythms are unconventional and constantly changing.
My favorite.
Leading to different time signatures being written all over the place. And you know where else
Yeah,
numbers are
I
written
like
a lot?
math
Or
rock
when you want
too.
to feel like you're in Castlevania, but only the credits. Put a fork in a garbage disposal and then build a melody around it. Harsh noise with a little more effort. Possibly the whiniest genre there is, which makes it so beautiful. Remixes of reggae songs that revolutionized how music could be changed in post-production. Horror movie soundtracks that went so hard they had to make a new genre for it. A whole ass symphony made out of knobs. Possibly the hardest drug that dance music has to offer. I'm just gonna put the RYM description on the screen for this one because what the fuck?
That's the progression, yes.
Summoning Mac Miller at 3 a.m. Ouija board challenge. Gay clubs got the best dance music. Can't afford an electric, but I can afford acid. The musical equivalent of burning your finger on a toaster while taking out a Pop-Tart, but you like the rush it gave you, so you touch it over and over again. Did a lot to legitimize the art form of remixing songs in a specifically slowed down context, and is absolutely mesmerizing. This is what microorganisms listen to. ASMR black metal band roleplay. House music for when you only want to dance a little bit. Reggae speaking out against social injustice and systemic oppression, and has a much better name than conscious hip-hop. Elvis and Danzig crossover episode. Every stage of cock and ball torture. Pop music for people who drank black coffee. Death metal meets rock and roll, baby. For real, this is a contender for the worst genre ever. What they should play in church to keep me coming back. Ambient music mainly centered around a single note. The aggression of metalcore mixed with the noodling of math rock. Often sounds like someone screaming at a rock falling down the stairs. Music that sounds like the intro of On Sight by Kanye. It'd be like that sometimes. Dark wave for those who weren't edgy enough for dark wave. What the middle school band sounds like when left unattended. Music made by people who don't meet Ben Shapiro's requirements of what constitutes as a musician.
I love outside music section too.
Even hardcore punk isn't immune to bleeps and bloops. Finnish trance music with funny drawings on the cover. Like Shibuya K, but even cuter. Progressive glitch music. Synth pop when all you can afford is a calculator. 1 hour of silence occasionally interrupted by a crossroad between heavy metal and psychedelic rock that went surprisingly under the radar. When you hire a virtuoso jazz band to play circus music.
Together now.
Angsty cowboys with electric guitars. Music for people who love LARPing. Free jazz, but even more pretentious. What the 3 a.m. walk to the bathroom sounds like the night your friend showed you a creepy video. Exists somewhere in between black and death metal, being very rhythmic, but also very atmospheric. A really interesting and compositionally rich approach to making rap beats. 1 hour of silence occasionally interrupted by and there we go, that's every music genre ever made. All of the ones that weren't mentioned are because they don't actually exist. Here are my favorite genres and my favorite albums in those genres, and let me know what some of your favorites are. As always, if you enjoyed the video, you know the drill.
No, it's pretty well spread, actually. I think they're covering all.
And actually, he had a good
TV. Your competitors will wish.
He had a good assessment of those different genres. There's a few new ones that I wasn't even aware of in there.
Oh yeah, I'm partial to math rock because I played in a math rock band for so many years. That was my thing. I played in a lot of prog and math rock bands.
Yeah, I like the math rock. I didn't realize there was math core, but
there is.
I'm curious to see what it sounds like.
Sounds like math rock and metalcore.
So that was coming from at 108 Mics on YouTube. And again, I think that was a good assessment of the modern genres, you know,
Yeah.
The ones that we've grown up with and seen develop over the last 40 years, 50 years.
Yeah, I think genres can get pretty neck beard. By that I mean like they can get super like it's actually dark synthwave with a neoclassical edge. Like I don't give a rat's ass what you call that, but what I do care about is I don't know. I go for the most general, like, oh, it sounds like rock. Oh, that's me personally. I don't need to go super deep down the rabbit hole. There are some purists for sure, and there are some fine distinctions, but there's also a lot of blurred lines.
Well, and if you're a purist, your chances of creating your own genre at that point are slim.
Yes.
Because once you're a purist, once you're stuck on a sound, the likelihood that you're going to make something that sounds new, that people are going to start giving a name to, gets smaller and smaller.
It does. It's like an ever receding pocket of ignorance. The more you know, the smaller this thing becomes, because now you've classified it in too many ways. You have too many parameters and walls that kind of confine you in. You gotta.
And you've got to be willing to change, almost mutate when you think about it, because music changes over time, every decade, and the musicians that are ready for the change, the musicians who embrace it, are the ones who roll with the music punches there, and they're the ones who find success at a time where what they're doing is ready to take over. And every decade you'll see that happen. Like, every decade is defined by certain genres, and whether it's the artists that are pushing it, whether it's the industry that's molding it or encouraging it, it's unavoidable.
Yeah. I think a good rule of thumb, people, if you want to make music, I personally, if someone said, "Hey, Cole Seth, what do you make?" I just make music. I don't need to give you if I say, "Oh, I make rock, rap, pop," it's too much. That's overload. Now it's word salad. I just make music. I just make what I feel.
Your music has a nice variety of genres to it. So if I was to ask you what one genre that you feel your music represents the most, it might be a little tricky, considering, like, across all your songs, you really do spread out across all the genres pretty evenly.
I would say
rock is prevalent. But yours is a unique kind of rock.
I make everything from classical piano. I've got 3 rap albums. I've got I have an alternative shoegaze rock album. I mean, like, I have a pop lo-fi album. I mean, I don't really know, like, and then I make everything in between that just for fun, because it's like I just like to make whatever, or the biggest thing again with this whole thing that with the whole WAG thing.
What compelled you to make like a pop lo-fi album?
What compelled me to do it?
At that time, was it what you were hearing and you decided, you know what, I want to do some of that too? Or was it just, I've got this new toy and it really makes me want to go play this style?
No, what compelled me was, so I came off the heels of I made like a shoegaze alternative / metal album, and I was making a lot more metal, and I was like, you know what I want to do? I want to make an album on something I don't like. What don't I like? I'm not a big fan of pop music, current pop music. So why don't I challenge myself to make something in the parameters that I'm uncomfortable with, or I have an opinion on, and see why I have an opinion on that thing. So now I'm going to target that, and I'm going to understand it, learn the literature, learn the material, and create what I want to hear for pop music in 2024.
So it really was for growth for you.
Yes, it was a challenge that I don't like this. How can I find out why I don't like this? Why do I have an opinion so strong if I don't have much to back up with it? And then I found the opinion, and then in turn I found a position that I didn't love about it. I loved the formula. I loved the discipline of that. So it taught me a lot, and therefore now I can appreciate it.
If you think about it, a musician who takes a genre that they don't necessarily like and really tries to make something in that genre that they do like, actually opens up an opportunity for them to bridge other people who might not like that genre to all of a sudden, like, there's hip hop fans who are listening to country now because it's blending, and you've got a lot of hip hop artists that are utilizing country, and all those fans who were like, I'll never listen to country until my favorite artist is now doing it. And
Yeah.
you know what? Country is not as bad as I thought.
Yes. And that's the
That kind
problem.
of approach is a good way to bridge
Yeah.
the gaps.
It's so easy to quickly just judge something on face value and go, I don't like this. And we all do it. I recognize that in myself. So when I do that, well, now let me find out why I don't, and also too, and in turn, it's my most successful, my most accomplished, article of work, a body of work, it's like, what the heck? And has the most, press and publicity. So it's just funny to see that, when I really went for that and I really put a lot of time and effort into it, like mulling over it endlessly, that it was the best cathartic experience I've had making music.
I'll tell you, I'm like you. Pop's not my go-to, but the way you approached it and utilized it in your album, totally love how you utilized it.
Thank you.
Makes me appreciate pop a lot more.
Because I feel like people don't realize, like, you can still have so much creative expression of yourself. You don't have to lose your identity. You can still be as much as you want to be, but try to do it in a way that is to this other formula. Like, you can still put yourself into anything, but do it tactfully, tastefully, and also, but lend credence to what the sound is or the style is, so you can still, make that, or that iconic sound for that listener, but also blend and bring other artists, other people, other listeners into this, because now you're blending their styles.
If anything, it should strengthen your identity, because the more you know about what you do, and the more you at least understand what you don't, and give it some effort, the more you're going to know yourself musically. That's how you grow. That's how you actually define yourself as an artist.
And that's through and through across the board. I don't care who you are. If you are, I always say, if you're a rapper, start to make beats, learn it, understand the mechanics of that. If you're a guitar player, try a different style, try flamenco, or try a different instrument. Learn. The biggest neglect is percussion. Learn percussion, because guitar players tend to neglect that. Like, try to put yourself in a different frame of mind with the different parameters, and learn to express yourself how you would on the other thing in this world, and you will see correlation.
I would say no matter what other instrument you do play, you should understand drums. You should understand percussion. It will benefit you in anything else. If you are a guitarist, if you are a bassist, the singer, and especially on the rap side, like a rapper who actually understands the importance of the beat is a far better rapper than the one who's just kind of loosey-goosey his way through the words. You have to hit in the right places to really do that genre.
Yeah, you can start to syncopate differently. You could, if you're, really into your words, okay, fine, or your image. All right, now try to figure out, how can you complement the instrumental that you're using? How can you, if it sounds like it's a carnivalesque style sound, how can you highlight that? Or if it sounds like it's more, down tempo and heartfelt, melodic, then get emotional, resonate that way. Try. You don't want to smear just this static kind of sound over anything and say, oh, that's my style. No, that's lame, and that's so rigid. How about you learn to be flexible? How about you learn to kind of meld with that sound? Because then you're gonna have a whole cohesive piece. Music is not just the vocals, not just the drums. It's everything combined that makes this sound, this makes this inflection,
Yeah. I think when we were talking earlier about like the aspects of a genre and the things that make it identifiable, and you said, a motif, certain kinds of beats or percussions, specific instruments, the difference between electronic drums versus acoustic drums really can change a genre. Like it can go from an old classic genre to a modern genre just by changing the drum kit.
Yeah, and giving space, giving feel. understanding that, letting something breathe. One thing I learned when I started doing vocals, like at first I was like, oh, I love doing a lot of layered vocals. All right, that's cool, that's great, it's fine, it's cool, but I'm not a one-trick pony here. So then I learned to give space and let me add tasteful backgrounds here and there. Let me actually separate myself and not sing for a second and let the thing breathe, and let it.
And the breathing is something I've noticed over the decades. Like when I was a kid and the music I was listening, rock, chords were held longer, and things did have strategic pauses. And as we got into the 90s and into the 2000s, and music kept getting more progressive, and the breathing room and the opportunities started to become less and less, and it became more of a constant, especially on the like rock metal side, where it's like all of a sudden we're blast beating instead of just a quick blast and hold. And it makes for different music. It makes for different energy. We've gone quite some time now with music that doesn't breathe a lot. I feel like we're going back full circle. You're starting to see it come back again. Certain artists are bringing the long chords and holds back, but we're still kind of in that progressive moment where a lot of music is just trying to get more fancy and fill in every blank spot.
Yeah, like there's never a wasted moment. It's just like bam, ADHD right in your eyes, or in your ears, like, oh my gosh, it's not, it's sensory overload, which is awesome. It's great. I love it. I actually love intricacies, but also too, there's a beauty in minimalism, things like that too. There's a beauty in everything. And I think what's cool in today's world is we have all these different options, right? Now you can pick and choose. What do you want? You can make something really awesome and go through a whole myriad of layers before you have to have it resolved. That's the best part about nowadays. We have all this information, all this sound. We can pick and choose.
Yeah, I think that ADHD, you might be onto something there. As it's become more prevalent in, today's youth, I feel like everybody suffers a little bit from it because we have media overload and like everything's in our face constantly. And maybe that's why the songwriters are constantly changing, and like part changes are happening every other measure nowadays, where it used to be 4 bars or 8 bars and then a change. The ADHD and the media overload, the options that a musician has nowadays is kind of pushing them to just fill in as much as they can in 3 minutes, because the song lengths are going down, but the amount of song going into 3 minutes is going up.
That's actually very well said. Yes, that's a great, exactly what it is. It's like, because back in the day, like in the 70s, it was like, oh, we had 7-minute songs. They were not unheard of. That was typical. 5 minutes was like the standard.
Actually, the greatest songs, the Stairway to Heavens, the
Right.
Freebirds, 7 to 9 minutes. That was, I mean, granted, the radio didn't play those songs like every day the way that like the hit songs are the 3 to 4 minute ones. That's the radio wants to cram as many songs in an hour. But that actually made Stairway and Freebird more special, because you weren't hearing it constantly. So every time you did, it was like, oh my God, every Sunday I got to listen to the top 40 because I know they're going to play that song.
I think there's a fear now, kind of, or a pressure, I would say more of a pressure, where people feel like, oh, well, I need to make something in 3 minutes. I mean, yeah, I think I actually personally, I love the challenge of making things within 3 minutes, 3:22, 3:40, any more than that. Unless you make it really interesting, I don't think you need to say more than that. I don't mind that, but also too,
what's the longest song that you've ever written?
Ever written is 30 minutes.
You did a 30? Wow, you got me beat.
I did a 30-minute. It was a pure piano piece. I actually performed it live too on stage and everything for a baccalaureate. And yeah, it was the final act, and it was It was called Epidemic. It was a 30-minute piece I made, and
I'm assuming you took the classical approach, the symphony structure, like first movement, second movement, third movement.
Yeah, I would say this one probably had about 5 movements roughly, but it all at the end tied back into the beginning. That's how I kind of did it. And yeah, I have it on cassette tape. Actually, I recorded it on cassette. I rented a cassette tape from my school back in high school.
Oh, you gotta hook me up if you still got
15
that. Hey, you know I'll listen to it.
15 years ago at least now or more, and it's not long, I guess longer than that too. It was like 2007 or 8, I guess. Yeah, and I don't know, I was just really into like my piano stuff back then, and yeah, I made a on my acoustic piano, recorded it and everything. It was 30 minutes, and I didn't write it down, I just remembered it. It was ridiculous, but yeah, that's my longest.
So
And then
30 was your longest. What's your shortest?
my shortest, boy,
How,
man.
how short is too short when it comes, like, you don't see 1 minute songs on the radio, even though they want shorter songs. I don't think they want songs less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, my shortest like actual like I think reasonable song, probably like 58 seconds. I mean, I've had shorter like joke songs like 30
So
seconds.
that to me, that would be like a jingle,
Yeah,
if you're trying to come up with like a marketing piece and you really need to be under a minute, then
I think a minute
that's a
46 is
jingle.
pretty good. It's a good, like if you want a quick short piece, I think a minute 46 is pretty comfortable. Like just under 2 minutes. That might be radio appropriate maybe, but like, I don't know. I mean, I've had quick little just jingles, but
No, speaking of long songs, Mavi just popped in. If anybody knows about like the long songs, he is the one who like strives for that 7 to 10 minute mark. That's
absolutely, yeah.
actually his sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mavi,
Which I admire.
long songs is what we're talking about at the moment.
Long song.
Yeah, see, he says he doesn't strive for it. It's just his writing approach,
Mm-hmm.
and because he's really telling fleshed out stories, it makes sense. Especially like right now, he's working on a concept album, so the story isn't just one song; it's across the album,
Yeah.
and you can afford 7 to 10 minutes for one part of the story.
I think it would be cool on that concept album if you had, plenty of your long songs, but also maybe a few that were really short, like under 2 minutes or 2 minutes, maybe three, something like that. Just kind of like, oh, little bridges, like I think because if the concept is a concept, there are shorter ideas and experiences and
and I like to use Pink Floyd The Wall as the template for balancing out the story, having these little transitional songs that take you from this part of the story to this part of the story, because there was a couple of songs on that album that were like a minute and a half, that little acoustic piece transitions from like this rock to this little acoustic and then back to another rock song.
I think interludes are really well placed. And Rollo Knox also says something really cool too. He says really fast punk songs can finish in under 2 minutes, which is very true.
Yeah. A punk song, I guess, could get away, and some pop songs.
Hardcore, especially hardcore music, is like 58 seconds. Is like the usual 1 minute and 2 seconds. It's like very common.
Yeah, but hardcore music, in that 1 minute, you're hearing 5 minutes of changes. Because, like I said, the more progressive it gets, every measure is like a new part. Which, for some listeners, I mean, there's like some core that I've listened to, and I'm like, I like it, but I do have a hard time following it, because I like to get into a groove when I'm listening. And if there isn't even enough time to get into this one groove, and now all of a sudden it's on to another groove, it's impressive. As a musician to a musician, I'm like, wow, that's really complicated and hard to do, but it's not easy for me to follow, appreciate, because I never get into the groove when the progression's constantly changing.
Yeah, maybe I said, yeah, me too. I hear a good part and I want to ride it out for a while, but they change it so fast that it's like pulling up before finishing.
That's how I feel.
I agree. I think when you develop something, I feel like, I want to hear explore it a bit more, flesh it out, especially if you can tie it back in. I like that. But if it's short and sweet, as long as it makes sense, I think that's important.
Now, what about the flip side? The jam music, Grateful Dead, Fish. They take the opposite approach where it's like, here's a groove, and now we're going to play it for 30 minutes and just completely riff on top of it, improvise.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. That to me is I think it overstays its welcome. It's too much for me at that point, and I can appreciate it. I can, but when you're just noodling and soloing over and over, to me, it's like I feel like there's missed opportunity after missed opportunity. There's so many places you can go with that. But
yeah, and if I'm playing it, if I'm one of the members in it, I feel like I get caught in a loop at that point where it's like we're never going to be able to play another progression out of this, because once you get into that groove loop for so long, it's like I can't go anywhere else at this point because
you can't hear it.
We're caught in the loop. I think it's more enjoyable to go to see that kind of music live perform. That's why the Deadheads used to go, follow them. Listening to it on an album, unless you're kind of in a relaxed state and you just get into the groove, listen to that like in your car and those short moments between driving to and from work. This isn't the kind of music that tends to carry you all the way.
If I'm only driving 15 minutes away, I'm not trying to hear some, you know what I mean? It's like, ugh. Now, there's bands like Between the Buried and Me, which I love dearly, who do have 14-minute songs, but man, they're jam-packed with 1,000 different freaking songs in one, pretty much. It's like it's so engaging. It's like, it goes by so fast, It keeps you on the edge of your seat. I love that. I love when I'm like constantly guessing or wondering what's going to happen next, and that's really fun. They still develop, ideas, but then they also really switch them up, and they always come back to it. Oh, it's great.
Mavi says his shortest song is 2 minutes and 22. Yeah, that's about as short as I've got to. Just around 2 minutes and 25 seconds.
And Between the Buried and Me is like Dream Theater, pretty much. So like the modern version of Dream Theater, in a way. Like they're that kind of, you know what I mean? Like big epic kind of sound, a lot coming at you, a lot of blending of styles.
Yeah, one of the things that I think makes it hard for me to do a really short song is I like to do intros. If it was to me, every song has an intro and an outro. Like I like both sides, bookends when it comes to songwriting. So even if the main hooky part of the song is 2.5 minutes, I still need like 30-40 seconds to get into that song through my intro. So it's hard to get it under 3 minutes.
I'll do a few things. I like doing intros a lot, like, setting it up and making that intro exclusive to the intro. Or I like to do a short, quick chorus, like a half chorus.
I've noticed in some of your songs, and also same with Mavi, like once in a while you do have that song that just comes right out the gate. Like you don't waste any time. Nope. You actually come in with a like chorus and then slide into the verse, which, you can't do that all the time.
No.
But when you do it here and there, it can have a big impact, especially on an album, because depending how you ended the song before it and how you go into the other one, it's like Zeppelin with Livin' Lovin' Maid, shifting into With a Purple Umbrella. Like the transition there on the album is one of the best, most abrupt, but like I have to listen to both songs.
Yeah.
Every time I listen to one of them.
Even the Beatles' White Album, they do it a few times too on that album. Where it's like bang right into it, but like it actually makes sense.
You say you want a revolution, like boom, it comes in right out, helter skelter, like instant. Like as soon as the song starts, you're in the middle of it.
Yeah, I enjoy doing that. Kind of like, oh, here's a little quick little snippet, and then bang into the verse, and then I like to do after that a little pre-chorus, and then the big chorus, of course, and then verse 2, shorter usually, into the big chorus again, into bridge, into like an outro thing.
And I guess when it comes to length and whether you want to be too long, how many verses and how many choruses are necessary to really sell the song? Because in the old days you had at least 3 choruses minimum, and at least two verses, if not 3 verses, counting the end verse, which sometimes is also an outro. But those who do put more than 3 verses in and more than 3 choruses, this is where you start to get 5 to 7 minute songs. And plus, old school solo, you got to get the solo in there in the old days. That stretches it another minute.
I like 2 verses, 3 choruses, and a bridge in there. Intro, outro, boom, pretty much something like that. Depends though. But like an opener to an album, though, like my current opener for my current album is like that is short, but it sets it up, and then the second song follows right after it, so it leads into it, and then that's like more of the expanded version of the song. So
well, and you actually had an intro track, like you started the album. Song number 1 is an intro.
It's an intro, yeah. So song 1 and 2 were actually one song. There was like 6 minutes long, but that's a little bit too long, I thought. So I just cut it. Well, I didn't cut it in half exactly. It's a 4-minute song and like a 1.5-minute song. So kind of.
Yeah, I thought that was the smarter strategy.
I think so too.
It breaks it up just enough. Plus, an intro to an album, I love that idea. Like I want to implement that in my next album. Like, you should have an opening song that's an intro to the album.
Yeah, and I had the intro to my album initially was the outro to my last album as the intro, and then the intro. So it was an outro, intro, whatever.
See, Mavi does do 1, 2, 3. Well, pre-chorus, chorus. Okay, now we're talking 2 choruses technically. So you've got like
pre-chorus, chorus.
Yeah, you've got 5 choruses with a pre-chorus in that strategy. That's only time will tell. That's how you broke that one up. Yeah. Yeah, he said intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus 1, chorus 2, verse, pre-chorus, chorus 1, chorus 2, chorus 1. 2 more times, outro. See, that's such an unusual arrangement approach, but it works awesome on that song. And you don't necessarily have to go with the cookie cutter approach. The majority of commercial music does follow the cookie cutter approach, especially in like pop and certain hip hop, where in some cases the parts never change. Like literally, it's the same beat, and the only thing that changes is the words that the rapper's saying.
Or a bigger second chorus, oftentimes, or like a bit more intricacies in verse 2, but a shorter verse. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know.
I do like when you have like, what do they call them? The ciphers, multiple rappers, and you actually get different dynamics because you've got different rappers. The beat doesn't really change, but the rapper does, which helps to get you into a different sounding part.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's no right or wrong answer. It's just how can you make parts sound familiar, where they're not abrupt, where they stick and they're effective, and you come back to them or not, but like,
and that's the whole purpose of having structure in the first place. Like, if you don't repeat your chorus, how the hell is anybody gonna remember it? Like,
I don't think it can be called a chorus if it don't repeat. I mean, right?
Exactly. A part in a song that never repeats again is not a chorus. It can't be. If it's technically not a verse and it's technically not a chorus, maybe a bridge, but even a bridge gets repeated depending on what it's bridging. So a part that has no repetition I'm not sure where that falls in
Yeah.
the whole like song arranging. Like you can't have A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P.
That's just freeform.
That's not a song.
That's just freeform. That's just like, I mean, that's what my piano pieces tend to be. They're like, oh, they start here and they end there, but that's all one that boom, it goes through. But that's a freeform kind of feel, which is I think that's why I appreciate and love. But it's not like it's a song, but it's not like a pop song.
Yeah, well, and pop songs really need repetition. I think it's even more important in the pop world to be somewhat predictable, easy to follow. It helps if it makes your feet move or your head bop, and it does follow the cookie cutter approach more than any other genre.
I kind of hate the pop formula nowadays, where I feel like every single section of a pop song is the chorus, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like
Some of the Britney Spears kind of songs,
Yeah.
or even Taylor.
Swift. I mean, obviously.
And now we got Bad Blood.
Yeah,
Like
Katy
the
Perry,
whole song is a chorus.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, I get it, 'cause, I get it for like the marketing end of it. Okay, so you won't be able to search whatever phrase and it should pop right up, whether it's a verse line or it's a chorus line, but it's hard to distinguish what is what at that point. And it's just,
No, and maybe I was saying the verses are not supposed to be as memorable. True, the chorus should be the thing that sticks the most in the listener's head.
Good.
But if you do have a memorable hook in the chorus, a memorable line, sometimes there's songs where like it's that one line, which happens to be in the verse sometimes, but I relate with it, and it's like, oh my God, I love this song because that one line.
Yeah, and he's right here too. He's like, the verses are more wordy usually, and then in today's sound, it's like the chorus tends to be like very stripped down when it comes to just like a phrase. It's a phrase, and repeat.
Actually, a good example of the opposite of that would be Zeppelin. Hey, hey, mama said the way you move. The verses are the chorus in that song, ironically.
Yeah, they drive each point.
Yeah. And then the chorus is actually just kind of like a breather, living, and you go back into that verse, and people listen to that song for the verse.
Yeah, it's a guitar riff, exactly. I just it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually the bass, if you're going to appreciate John Paul Jones, that song, the bass kicks ass.
It does, and also I love the fact that song too skips a beat from the normal. So that second time, so after
you could thank Bonham for that.
It's like a 5/4 for 4/4. So it's kind of like the second time, I forget. Yeah, it's like it skips one beat, like it's like a weird catch up beat, and then it gets back into it. Kind of slows it down on a 4/4, and it can back into 5/4 again.
And
which I always did that.
That goes back to what I was saying earlier about like music changing through the decades, and why I've always loved Led Zeppelin. I mean, granted, Black Sabbath, I think, had the most impact in changing rock and roll during the 80s and making it heavier. But Led Zeppelin took rock and roll into the 70s.
Oh my God,
The Who started it at the end of the 60s.
Yes.
But Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page had a guitar technique and a guitar tone, and Robert Plant, he's one of a kind. That kind of sound through the 70s helped rock to go into the direction it would in the 80s.
Yeah. And then we had our Bostons, our Chicagos, and then we had our Prague, our Pink Floyds and all these things. They got more experimental, and I just love it.
The one thing that confused rock in the 80s was all these synths that started popping up, and MTV really pushing the synth music and the new age music, so that blending like electronic instruments with more traditional rock instruments started to become a thing. By the end of the 80s, like every big band was utilizing some form of synth and new effects that didn't, delays and pitch shifters that didn't exist a decade ago.
It's like, can you even call like Dio or Devo, sorry.
Devo.
Devo. Can you even call them a rock band? Like they are rock, but like they're like synth pop rock, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I would
rock.
call it synth rock or pop rock. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's really, it's just, but I mean, same with Flock of Seagulls. Like they're the same way too, right?
Yep.
That man holds on one note in the freaking video. Boom.
You know, pop rock is not the same as rock pop. Like, depending on where you put the genres, pop rock is different than rock pop. When I think of pop rock, I really do think more on the pop side. Like that's Taylor rocking it up a little bit. That's pop rock. But when I think of rock pop, I think like, you know, I guess Poison once in a while became pop rock.
Yeah, I kind of classify Poison as like, I guess like anthem rock, but I guess they're really not. They are more rock pop.
Wikipedia considers them glam rock. Because of the whole, like, they look like girls on that cover and the makeup and
girls. That was Twisted Sister, right?
No, that was Motley Crue.
Oh, like
yeah, and Motley Crue, yes, they were a hair metal band, but I would still put them under like I wouldn't call them a glam band. At first, they looked like a glam band in the early days. They kind of took the Kiss approach a little bit, makeup and to actually look like characters. But once they settled in with like girls, they basically became just rockers, not trying to over hairspray or over makeup. Just more like bikers that happen to play rock.
Yeah. But you know what it is for me? It's that snare drum, that 80s glam rock, anthem rock snare drum, that just that power punch freaking. Oh man, that to me defines a lot of genres of the time. You know.
Oh, Maeve, I got it. Party rock.
Yeah, it's party rock. It is party rock.
That's what I would call a big chunk of the 80s, like
early 90s vibe.
Rock metal.
Yes. The ballads too. They always have a ballad. Oh my gosh.
And you know, if I could only choose like certain genres to write in, party rock is one I would want in my arsenal. And of course ballads. like I don't want to write a whole album of ballads, but I definitely always want at least one on my album. I follow that recipe.
There's like the there's a few approaches to ballads. You can go for like a what's his name? Oh my gosh, I can't think. Jesus. Oh, Piano Man. Come on, help me out.
Oh, Billy Joel.
I know. I had Billy Joel, right? That kind of approach, Elton John kind of ballad, or you can go for a more like a oh my gosh, again.
See, and Elton John could have pulled off just writing ballads. I mean, I'm glad he didn't, because like Saturday Night's All Right for like he has some great like rock songs. But his ballads are timeless, and he could come up with one after another hit. Billy was a little different. Billy has some great ballads, but he was more of a rocker. Still rock and roll to me.
Yeah.
You know,
no,
Billy liked to have some rock in his. The few ballads he would do, like Goodnight Saigon or She's Got a Way, Billy could write a super ballad, but he would always have to go back to the rock songs.
I feel like there's that kind of ballad.
To balance them.
like a Bruce Springsteen kind of ballad, or like a Guns N' Roses ballad, or like Bon Jovi kind of ballad. Like there's different. I don't know, different.
Yeah, but Bon Jovi, I think, had the best recipe and balance because they actually did have a good keyboardist at a time when, like, most metal bands, even nowadays, you don't see the keyboardists. The keyboardists are hiding off the stage.
Yeah.
But Bon Jovi came out, their keyboardist kicked ass, their drummer kicked ass. Richie Sambora was like,
Yeah.
and
I
they
love
would
Def Leppard's keyboardist.
Yeah, but you never see Def Leppard's keyboardist.
No, you
on
don't.
stage.
That's what I say. He's like one of the most underrated keyboardists. He's so good.
I have to listen to Def Leppard now and
His
listen to
chord,
keyboard.
he does a lot of inverted chords, like how Pink Floyd was doing, but he brought into like the 80s sound. It's really, really good.
That's crazy. But when I think Def Leppard, I don't think about keyboard. It's crazy. I have to listen to him now.
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
listen for their keyboards. It's good.
I will.
If you remember the song "Bringing On the Heartbreak," like way back when they first came out, they made two versions of that. The original one had no keyboards. When they're singing "Bringing On the Heartbreak," it's just straight up guitars. They remade it like a year, 2 years after it hit the radio, and they added a keyboard track to it. Ironically, I love keyboards and I love Def Leppard, but I hated that they added these keyboards to this classic song that I already knew without them.
Do you guys know Aldo Nova?
Oh, are you kidding? Life's just a fantasy. Dude, that album was, every single song on Ball and Chain was a hit. The only reason why he didn't blow up is because at that time, Canadian artists didn't have the same impact that they do nowadays, but he was a superstar up in Canada.
You can thank the chat for that one.
And speaking of ballads, his song Ball and Chain, it was like the last song on the second side of the tape. One of my favorites of the 80s. One I have wanted to cover and do. I cannot find any Aldo Nova sheet music, MIDI. I'm going to have to guess it.
Yeah, it was from Piro. He's in the chat. He mentioned that.
No, Perot.
Yeah.
See, figures
Perot.
Frenchmen would know.
Piro.
Is that on YouTube?
Yeah.
Trying to monitor the chat at the same time. Trying to. Pedro.
No, Perot.
No.
Sorry. So to go back to what we were talking about earlier and the changing of music and genres over time, I've got one more video here from Rick Beato, my go-to on YouTube when it comes to like music analysis, historian. Like we were saying, he knows the industry. His assessment and advice is always solid. And this particular video that we were looking at earlier, he talks about the death of music genres, how as music has evolved through the 20th century, where are we? Where are we in like making new genres? Are we just going backwards, or are we actually making future genres? And with the AI doing what it's doing, what's it going to look like in the next 10 years?
I feel that like we need to go back and then go in a different direction and not come the way we went to now. We have to go back and then branch off from there and go a different direction to come up with anything new.
You mean do like a what if blues had gone this way with rock?
Yeah, let's say if like we're gonna take like some modern elements that we have today, like, which is good to have, but then like we go back to the 60s and the 70s, 30s and 40s, all around there, and then we bring those modern elements to those genres and then branch out to a different direction.
They're saying take a left to Albuquerque, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I should.
But with the knowledge that we have today, with the music today, we just go back and then go a different direction. We'll come out with something new.
Pretty smart. Shout out to Raven Empire in the chat saying, "Hey guys."
Yeah, Levi Hendrix.
Oh, that's me.
Oh, my, shout out to Mayweather Hendrix. I don't know. What deals you have?
He's in disguise.
No, that's my band YouTube.
Oh, I did know that. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Awesome. All good.
Shout out to Mayweather for the chat and also the live stream. There you go, bang. Double dipping.
But can you imagine what rock and roll would have sounded like in the 50s if they had the electric guitars that they have in the 80s?
Or what would it sound like if Jimi Hendrix was not in the picture?
Jimmy, with a world with no Jimmy, I feel like we would have lost a decade's worth of influence. Like the 70s would not have gone the direction that they went because Jimmy brought in the 70s. Literally,
might not have
New Year's Eve, 1969, going into 70. Jimmy brought the 70s in.
You might not have a Kurt Cobain.
We might have had a longer disco period.
Yeah. They might have like hung around on the disco side if they had.
And then we probably would have had techno and electronic rock in the 80s.
I mean, it's not to say that Black
Sabbath, or maybe late
70s. If there was no Jimmy, there still would have been a Black Sabbath because they weren't like intertwined. So
they were around the same time and they had their own styles already made.
Yeah, they weren't influencing each other. Right. I mean, if they were, it wasn't obvious.
Disco makes you have to pee. Right back.
So yeah, I mean, it would be definitely interesting to be able to go back and not come in the direction that we have. I mean, we have a lot of great stuff, but I feel that we have hit a roadblock in our music evolution.
Well, we do hit these walls sometimes where it gets hard to make a new genre. From 2000 till now, it's been a kind of uneventful 25 years.
Yeah, rock has not gone anywhere.
Yeah. The last time I really saw music moving and shaking, evolving, was the 90s. And then going into the 2000s and what we've seen for the last 25. And I kind of blame it on
going into the 2000s, that was still revolutionary. But then after like the first 5 years of 2000, it just stayed the same.
You had post grunge, like, going into 2000 up until like 2006, post grunge, which, what does that mean? It's the genre after grunge. It's still grunge. It's just post grunge. That's where you start to see things get a little stale. Not a lot of innovation.
Right.
Even though we do have new controllers, we've got new instruments, you haven't seen a real lot of innovation in the last 25 years on that side.
I found somebody pretty innovating. He's a young kid. Let me send you a link to him. He plays guitar, but what he does on the guitar is pretty insane.
Upon my P, I was thinking about we have Hendrix, and I was like, oh, you know what's a slept-on genre? Might have more of Motown.
Oh yeah,
Motown was pretty good. I don't care.
And Motown comes back in cycles.
I like Motown, actually.
You
Sweet look at Caroline.
You look at the 50s where it really came into the picture, how it evolved through the 60s, and then by the 70s, Motown was settled in like a dominant force on certain radio stations. And then it kind of had a lull through the
80s. Domino. You know that one? Or like, hang on, Sloopy, hang on.
Oh, one of my favorite. Yeah, I had that album.
So many good Motown's sick, dude. Motown's a great like bar vibe, playing live like a bunch of 40, 50-year-olds just drinking. Yeah, play some Motown back like in the 90s. Loved it.
And when it comes to performing it, it's still more of a traditional acoustic instruments.
Yeah.
You look at the R&B of the 90s, which was like a hybrid of pop and soul.
Yeah.
And that's what Motown was bringing to the table by the 90s.
Motown definitely has some R&B and soul in it, though, for sure, right? I think it does, yeah. Definitely. I can feel that.
This is Davin Glover.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know. I want to say he's probably like between 16 and 18.
Oh, sure.
Refresh it.
That's it. Yeah. It's been funny.
Wow, he's got a crazy technique.
I literally sent this video to Jason about a week ago.
Yeah, you saw too. Yeah, this
This
guy,
guy's-
I
yeah,
checked
he's
out his
good.
channel. He's
I
pretty
was like,
good.
whoa. Yeah, that's funny.
I mean, he's still doing like a lot of similar stuff.
Yes,
He needs to like expand his style more, but I mean, he's still growing in his music. But
Yeah,
I mean,
he's-
he's got something good there. That's
Yeah,
unique.
he's got a new
He has
subscriber
the
here.
Polyphia kind of vibe, of that, but definitely much more explosive for sure.
Mm.
I'm having brain farts all day. Polyphia guitar player's name is what's his name? Yes,
Who? What guitar player?
Polyphia.
Oh, I'm not even sure what that band is.
You know the kid when you see him.
Okay.
Now, what he was doing there on the guitar, would you say it is a new sound?
Yeah.
He could be a new genre if he keeps that sound consistent in his music. Is it his guitar, or is it the effect, or is it the technique?
Well, I mean, it's a mixture of the technique and the effect. He's using the harmony, obviously. So when he's got the basically whatever fifth or third, whatever he's playing, and that's there for sure. And then it's his tapping technique, his rhythm, because he's got he's like on a breakbeat dubstep mindset. That's why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah, there's a mechanical kind of a feel to the way he's hitting his notes. It's almost industrial.
Yeah, but he listens to a lot of dubstep, and you can tell that's his influence. So he's brought that into the guitar, which hasn't really been done. I mean, not like this.
Well,
I mean,
no,
you have people like Skrillex bringing guitar in, but nothing doing what this guy's doing. Like this is like synthy stuff that is very unique.
So when Gent came out right recently, like Tim Henson, who's a part of Polyphia, I'll give you guys a link. He set this exact. He's like the godfather of this. He started this initially about, I would say, 6 years ago, and now people are building on it. But what this new guy's doing, it's pretty fresh. I'll send you the link first.
Oh, so the other guy's doing this too, huh?
Oh,
I haven't heard him yet.
No, I'll show you like Polyphia's main song. Everyone knows that they love.
I keep saying that they reference like some band to this kid. I forget what it is though.
I think it's probably Polyphia. Pretty damn sure. I would have to only assume because.
Oh, it's called Buried Alive. That's the band's name that they keep bringing up about him.
That sounds familiar. I've heard that name.
Okay, I'll link you this real fast, Tony. This came out 6 years ago exactly. So here you go. So yeah, this was where it kind of started, and a lot of people branch off this idea from Tim Henson, the guitar player, who's still pretty big. But, bang, there you go. Where they blended this kind of like dub funk kind of, or dub like gent metal kind of vibe. Yeah, you'll
with funk.
With funk, you love funk.
That's cool. That's cool.
I would say funk. I mean, I guess groove, right? More groove, but.
Could you imagine a doo-wop like techno or something?
That'd be dope.
Oh, I would totally listen to that.
Like that's what I'm saying. We go back and now we go in a different path.
Well, and I like doo-wop, so like
who doesn't?
hearing it done in different instruments would definitely be interesting.
This is like their main one from 6 years ago.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Wow.
Yeah, he's doing it too. Yeah, he's got more of the blues.
Yep.
Yeah. Same thing the other kids do.
Is he detuned on? Is he detuning certain strings?
It's effects.
I think he's using a pitch shifter.
Yes.
That's so cool. Yeah. Yeah, he's detuned too. I can hear when he's hitting his chords.
I gotta like this. That bass is monstrous.
So they have a song with Steve Vai also. I think.
Okay, yeah, all right. That's like so in their heads they're like they're playing the rhythm,
Yes, it's very
and
relieving.
they're playing more of a rhythm with melody.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
exactly
Tony,
what they're
there's
doing.
one with Steve Vai as well. They did. Believe it or not.
Wow, that was a treat, man. I
Oh, on his like little triple guitar thing.
subscribe for sure. I want to check out their stuff.
Yeah, but Playing God's really good. Someone Playing God. But yeah, they have one with Steve Vai called Ego Death. It's pretty good. I guess he came out of retirement for that shit. I don't know.
Oh,
The one with Steve Vai, is he playing on his 3-neck guitar?
I
It's
have
a
seen
bass, a
Steve
12
Vai.
string, and a 6 string.
6 string, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's just 6. Yeah, he plays something similar like this, but with the three-neck guitar. It has a bass, a 12 string, and a 6 string on it, and he's
Nice.
playing a huge melody with all three of them. Like
Hmm.
instead of playing like different parts, he's like actually using them all as like one melody, like kind of like what they're doing, but not as intricate as this.
Yeah, yes. Okay, Teeth of the Hydra you're talking about.
So they're
Yeah,
at Polyphia
Polyphia, yep.
on YouTube, dude. 1.68 million, and they got to be growing.
they deserve it.
No, they're
That-
massive. They're massive. And, like they kind of set the whole like this whole new genre of like this groovy rock, like
Yeah.
very baroque, very classical, in a lot of ways, and like the way they play it, and with like some flamenco in there. The Tim Henson, the guitar player, he's really into all styles.
Flamenco, that's it.
just
He loves doing
listening,
flamenco.
just listening to that one song. I mean, I heard at least 4 or 5 different genre influences.
Yeah.
Every one of them is like a super musician. Like every part in there was crafted.
Yeah, so that's what I showed each
Yeah,
instrument.
yeah, and I wonder who actually leads the writing, because you can tell it's all
It's
from the
Tim.
same
It's
same
guitar
writer,
It's guitar player.
and he's probably showing everybody their parts.
Yeah, it's Tim. All their songs, unfortunately, kind of sound the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to like branch off into different rhythms at this moment. It's still new.
Um, I understand what you mean about the same, because like the tones that they're doing and the things they're doing are so unique that if you keep hearing it, it's going to feel like the same.
It's like their patterns are the same. They'll play like, you know, their
Yes,
melodies
it's
in
the
a certain
pattern.
part, and then they'll do their little fast, like basically in the same part,
Yes.
maybe in a different way, but it's like the same format
It
of
is. It really
melody
is.
writing. That's what makes it repetitive in a way. But they got to learn, they like them and that kid Davin Glover. He does it too. He's
Yep.
actually starting to slow down a bit and do some other stuff.
Yeah.
So he's actually evolving a little bit. But it's like when they're in this rhythm, it's kind of hard to make a new rhythm. Like
Yeah.
when I do beatboxing on a harmonica, I get stuck
Mhm.
in one rhythm and I gotta like create a whole new one in order to do what I do. So
Yeah.
I understand what's going on with these guys. I mean, it's still brand new, but it can definitely be improved and like it could branch out.
It's like a hyperbole of like virtuosa, you know. But that's the thing, and that's where I think it's like, all right, well, I mean, I love it. I can appreciate all the technicalities of it. It's like, dang, you know, it almost kind of hurts itself that way sometimes too.
Oh, they're going to be in. Oh, they were. No,
And then
Angie.
you
gonna
have
be in
artists
Jersey.
like Marson.
Marson.
Marson, are you guys familiar with Marson?
Never.
What? Okay, so
Angie gonna show
We're still
literally,
trying to feel out new people. I mean, you know, I'm stuck
okay,
learning, knowing what I know back in the past.
so this was like
Oh,
one of
Oh, this guy.
the
Yes,
oh, yeah,
yes,
no,
yes,
they have
yes.
a-
I
they
know
have
his.
a-
I didn't know
like
his name.
Marson.
Yeah, I see him all the
Olivia
time
has a song with Marshall as
on
well,
the
by the
social
way.
media.
After him, I
fact.
actually had also seen there were two brothers that like were dueling back and forth doing something similar. But for those of you that haven't seen Marson, here's a little bit of a taste.
He's the
Olivia has a
most
song with
impressive
Marshall, by the way.
guitarist I've seen.
Yeah, this guy's good.
Oh yeah. Incredible. I'm surprised the camera was able to keep up with his fingers. There you go. And I love how he mashes all the songs together. That's one of my things that I really, really enjoy when I hear artists mash different songs of their favorites together. I guess that kind of teaches you what kind of genre they are, huh? Just saying.
Oh, when you hear Zeppelin with this flamenco style, it works. It works so good.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. I believe he actually started on America's Got Talent.
He frets so hard that he doesn't even need to pluck.
Wonder how many strings a year he goes through.
He should invest in a string factory.
Picks are us.
Although I bet you he doesn't. I bet you he doesn't go through a lot of them because he does have a gentle.
He does have a good technique.
It looks
Absolutely.
it looks like he's wailing it, but he's actually pretty gentle with it, considering how hard he gets it to strike.
There you go, Tony. Let's Ange and I blend both our worlds. When I showed, then she showed, and now watch them together because they happen to be together as well. So
is that Nikita and Aish? Yeah.
This is
oh no, this is the classic dragon with Tim.
Polyphia, guitar player,
Yes.
and yeah, Mark. There you go.
Yes, yes. And another one is Akita Nito. He's also freaking awesome. But here we go. I'll share this. You guys ready?
I got a mashup of Cole and Ange. Cole Ange.
Can't
Hendrix.
spell. Oh yeah, you can
Cole
spell Cole
Ange
without
Hendrix.
Ange. Calange. Got it.
Calange.
Calange sounds better than Cole Ange.
But
Like,
that doesn't sound yummy though. It just sounds like something that came out of the digestive tract.
It
Just
sounds like a
saying.
procedure I don't want to have.
Indeed. This is Marson, Tim Henson, a classical dragon. He did this 7 months ago. This first single for Marson's upcoming debut album featuring Tim Henson of Polyphia. Stream the single. Order it today. You see, you can follow him pretty much everywhere. And he's listed all his producers and directors. So it is not a one-man job, guys. You know, he had to even have a hair and makeup stylist.
Go Mo Chapman.
Let's go ahead. Let's check this out now.
Guitar I've ever heard.
Right. Oh, freaking amazing.
The guitar that Tim was playing.
Yeah.
So full.
That's
and
his
rich.
guitar. That's his own
Holy
guitar.
crap! I would buy that.
He has like $5,000. Yeah, it's expensive.
Hey,
So
he knows
the
how to
tone's amazing
use
now.
it.
Yeah, it tone's amazing, and I think it's not even nylon. Any of the strings are not. I think it's all just crazy because it sounds like a nylon string guitar, but it's not.
And to hear the two of them actually go with both masters of that technique. I mean, I've never heard flamenco to this level. This is a next generation flamenco style.
It really is. It really is.
But I got one more for you, and then I'll let you steal it back.
And it's not as speedy or flashy, you know, as like the traditional flamenco tends to be, but the way they're hitting, the way they're striking, and the tap techniques that they're doing, they're evolving this genre.
It's all syncopation. That's why I like it.
Yes.
How old is he? Do you know, Ange?
I don't know.
He
looks
like
really
still a
young.
kid.
Yeah.
They're all in their early 20s.
20s, I'm going to say, yeah.
They're definitely Gen X or Gen Z.
Yeah.
He had to be.
I think
he had to be playing at
Marson-
like 4 or 5 years old.
So prejudiced, Mavi.
No, they're definitely
I'm
next
just
generation.
joking with you.
I mean,
judging them
honestly,
based on their
Marson's
birth year.
20.
you know, honestly, I lost hope for any new guitars
He's
to be coming
24.
out
Marson is here.
because of what's been
I think
coming
Tim's
and
like
what's been
29.
popular. It's like I
Yeah.
lost all hope for guitar. But now these
Tim's
guys,
my age.
you know, they make it.
They
come
gave you
back
a
to
new
life.
light.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Tim is my
All
age.
right, I got one
Tim's
more.
31, by the way, and Marson is 24.
Yeah.
Tim's 31. Tim looks younger than him.
He's my age, man.
This next artist has over 2.73 million subscribers.
Nice.
This is a live performance of Akita Nito.
Oh,
I love this guy.
before.
Ready, Tony?
Ichika Nito.
The look on your face is priceless.
How is he doing that?
I'm gonna say with precision. Definitely precision. That was my final answer.
Look how worn out his frets are. That's practice. Like, he played this a million times. Look at his picking hand. Watch his picking hand when they do the close-up.
I want to see Jason do this.
I would buy Jason that guitar if he'll do it.
Bro, I'm starting to think she's got more than 6 fingers. Yes, I am. Freaking incredible, right?
Holy crap.
And you can also thank Van Halen for bringing the style about.
I've been following Intricate for a long time.
No, I
He's
mean
very,
the
very
finger
good.
tapping.
Yes.
Even Eddie didn't have that kind of
no, but he
plucking
he brought
finger
tapping
tap
into the world.
Yeah, but did you see the technique
Oh,
there?
yeah, I know.
Going from the
They're all doing
like
it now.
picking to tapping back to the picking was seamless.
I know. It's lots and lots of practice for that.
Did you see the neck, like how worn in those frets were?
I was looking at the strings. It's like those strings are rusty. But then again, remember this is just a video. It's not really what he's playing. He's just
I
fingering
bet
it
you.
with the
I
audio.
bet you those guitars look like that. He's got to be like pounding
If those
on that
strings are
neck
as rusty as
over
they
and
are, they
over.
wouldn't sound like that in the recording.
Okay, so we'll kind of answer that a little bit, okay? So, Tim Henson, which we just watched with Marson, okay, it says how Tim Henson can play so damn fast. So,
Everyone in the
here's some
guitar community has
answers.
gone crazy for Polyphia's Tim Henson. But what I wanted to discover is, how does he play so freaking fast? So I studied how he
freaking
plays the track
fast.
Playing God, and here's 5 things that I found out. Number 1. If you want to play basketball, being tall is an unfair advantage. If you want to be a jockey, being small is an unfair advantage. As a guitarist, one fairly obvious unfair advantage is having long, thin fingers. Don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that you can't become a world-class guitarist with smaller fingers. Randy Rhoads, Prince, and Steve Lukather had or have smaller hands. And yeah,
stubby little fingers.
But Tim Henson is a big-handed guy. It's almost impossible to play some of Polyphia's riffs without big hands. In the Playing God riff, for example, there's a stretch from the 8th fret on the 6th string to the 13th fret on the 2nd string. And it'd be very difficult to play that riff with small hands. But even with big hands, it's not possible to get awkward chord voicings right without this next thing. And here Tim takes a page from classical guitarists who regularly play awkward, long, stretched chords. Here's pro classical guitarist Anna Vidovich playing Cavatina. If we stop it there, let's compare it to how an amateur classical guitarist plays it. Can you spot the difference? Okay, it's an old video of
Mavi
me.
can, and I'm telling you, I can't wait to
spotted it
hear what
yet.
Mavi comes out with next.
Look at the picking hand.
The thumb is one thing the beginners and intermediates are regularly getting into positions
It's the round end
that
of the
really
wrist.
slow them down.
Uh-huh.
In classical guitar, you're taught to put the thumb directly behind the middle
it's
finger.
this.
And if you look at the best classical guitarists, from the front, you rarely see their thumb. And by keeping the thumb down and around halfway behind the neck, it means wide stretches become possible. For example, I can stretch 6 frets if I keep my thumb down. If my thumb is higher up, it becomes more like 4 frets.
And who's talking?
If you watch Tim Henson's videos, it's really uncommon for the thumb to pop up, and this allows him to get into those extraordinary positions.
I can't talk any shit about them.
It's impossible to even get a basic C chord
They're
right
good.
without getting some bum notes. As you get better, you can hit clean notes more consistently, but still one of the hardest notes to hit accurately are natural harmonics. With natural harmonics, you need to put your finger exactly over the fret, and then take it off at exactly the right time. The margin for error is really small, and if you get it right, you get this lovely cascading waterfall of notes. But if you get it wrong, it sounds like pots and pans clashing together. So to play them consistently and at high speeds, Tim uses this hybrid picking technique, where he alternates between his pick and mainly his middle finger. And he even does it live.
Oh.
It's amazing. Oh God, I sound like such a fanboy.
He's a fanboy. Yes, he's a fanboy.
I am
If
too.
you find this video helpful, please help me out by giving it a like. It takes an extraordinary amount of time for a guitarist to get control of their fingers. A less experienced guitarist's fingers always end up popping up unexpectedly. In my private lessons, if I start teaching a new student who's been playing for maybe a couple of years or so, I ask them first to play this simple chromatic scale. Just by playing these 8 notes, you can get a pretty good idea of how well a student can control their fingers and keep them down. In this part of Playing God, Tim can achieve this blistering speed because all his fingers are staying really close to the fretboard, which have taken a lot of committed practice to get right. In watching it though, one thing that's really weird
I've
to me
already
is
seen
how
and
much
heard Mavi
control
do
he
that.
has over his index finger. And it's held in exactly that position.
I've
few
watched him
millimeters
do it a
above the
few times
fretboard, and it's
myself.
just waiting its turn to be called upon.
Uh-huh.
I've never seen someone have so much control over a finger. Number 5. Speaking about fast runs, let's look at that picking. There's an extremely small range of motion on that pick. It's like he's giving the strings a little tickle. It looks like he's also picking all the way through. And all the notes are as clean as a pearl. And if you want to see how you should go about learning one of Polyphia's hardest riffs, I'll check out this video next. And a big thanks to my
It's
video
that pearl.
You know what's really cool is Polyphia,
Everyone-
they have all their tab on their official website. So any guitarist wanting to
I should
learn
go take a
to
look
do
at it.
that, all their tab is there.
Yeah, you get free maybe actually.
I want to go see their scales.
You should.
And their tunings, because no, they got some interesting tunings. They're not tuned to standard.
So you play some of that over and over, and you're gonna get muscles in your fingers.
Either one out of the 3 you play.
Your finger's gonna look like a bodybuilder.
It'll put hair on the palms of your chest.
He'll have arms like the drummer.
So Ichika always plays in standard. That's the fun fact about him, the Japanese guy. He
Oh
always
yeah,
plays-
him. He sounded like he was in standard, but the other
He
guys they
always
were
plays-
in different
Oh,
tunings. Well,
yeah,
no, the Marson guy plays in standard too.
Yeah.
Well, maybe flat, but
But Tim does not. Tim definitely is doing like some gent tuning.
yeah,
Some
same
like
same with the other guy.
yes,
Devin.
the young yep and yep. But I like that.
Get a yep and yep.
And
I-
you know, going back to what we were talking about earlier, tuning is another thing you've seen over the last 40 years. Where why do some of these new genres sound different? Is because DeGad wasn't that big of a thing in the 70s. Jimmy Page did a little of it. You know, a few guitarists played around with it, but it wasn't until the 90s where all of a sudden, like, everybody's dropping and shifting their tunings, and it's part of why grunge sounded the way it did.
Let's just go back to the garage
And
bands and the
they're all
swamp
in
music.
440 tuning though.
Most of them. It's kind of hard when you're playing in a band. Much as I love playing in 432, and you said 435 is your go-to, when you're playing in a band, you either got to get the whole band on board like with that tuning, or it becomes a pain in the ass because
I'll just go tune all their guitars for them.
Well, some of those band members come in and they're like playing in 440, like when they're at home, and then they come in and they have to shift their tuning. A good band member shouldn't care, but you know how they are. Like,
I don't know. Once you go 435, you never go back.
And that's a fact, Jack.
I would have stayed with 432 myself. Except I had so many people asking for me to redo them in 440 because they didn't want to tune down, and eventually
they didn't know how.
Well, that's usually the case, is that they didn't even know how to do it.
Without a right tuner to be able to hit a show 432, it's kind of hard to even figure it out.
Yeah, and
you know what you should do? Maybe it's like throw like an open EADGB in like long notes so they can tune with it.
Yeah, I thought of doing that. actually putting in a tuning track with all the notes, and
yeah, that would help.
But even the singers, I mean, I even had a couple of singers that were like, I can't sing in 432, and I'm like, what?
It's a very weird placement of where your notes are going. Yeah, if you're going from singing in standard and jumping down to a tuning like that, you feel like you're singing out of key.
Yes, I got it to work. Sweet deal.
Once you go wag, you never write rag. You never play rag, right? No rag time.
Oh goodness.
Speaking of, what's the wag this year?
It's what's the genre?
It's going to be starting on February 1st. You can get information at What's a Genre over on BandLab.
And can anyone sign up?
Yeah, there's a sign-up form right at the top on the pinned post, and you should hit it up, Mavi.
Yeah, link it to
me. At What's a Genre.
I'll go ahead. I'll drop the link again.
I'm gonna sign up for
in
right
the
now.
chat here, as well as over on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Go ahead, enter.
My minions.
Get it. You know how we roll.
32 spots.
Oh, and they're filling up, so
yes,
I would get it in there in the next week, because by the end of the month, I'm sure he's going to have to cut and decide on 32 people. And how you fill out the form, sell yourself. Tell him why you think you would enjoy doing the WAG.
Or why you should, why you feel that you are wag enough to be in the waggiest contest, because you are not afraid to step out of your box and try your hand at a roulette of genres.
And that's what it's going to be.
Wrapped up in a tiny little nutshell. Hopefully it's got chocolate and kind of looks like a Hershey Kiss, because just love.
And it's actually going to give you an opportunity to be on both sides of collabing, because there might be one song where you're partnered up with someone and you take the initiative, which I know you would. Like, you're a leader when it comes to recording. And then there's going to be times where you're collabing with someone and it's easier to let them take the wheel and just have that, get to enjoy like putting a part on top of it. My jazz song, the guy that I got paired up, 13-year-old kid, but this kid was incredibly talented. He totally took charge, came up with a great beat and a couple of good layers of instruments, and I was like, you know what, I can work with this, and I let him do all the driving, which was fun. It was
It's
different from
awesome to because you're also feeling their art and their creativity and what's inside of them, who they are, and you're actually feeling that and able to, bond and connect with another person on a level that maybe neither one of you guys have ever experienced creating.
Yeah, you saw how it influenced Nilla
Go
Gates.
Nilla! I was
Yeah,
just thinking that.
Nilla.
Listen, I am missing Nilla Jr., okay? Like, this is like long enough. Bring Nilla Jr. to say hi, okay? Okay, all right, I'm sorry. I just had to talk. Shh.
Make Nilla Jr. great again.
No, just bring him back to Angified again. I have to ask him how he's doing. Miss Nilla Jr. Okay, sorry.
Well,
Didn't mean
and
to
from
interrupt.
what Rusty was saying, Nilla did get the memo that the WAG's coming back, and
Good,
he's ready
good,
for another round of it. He's a
good,
trooper.
good. I can't wait.
Ready to wag that tail
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and let your freak flag fly.
Yeah,
Freely?
that
Really. The triple F, the quadra F. Oh my gosh. Triple F, the quadro F. My gosh.
that tail's gonna wag the dog.
Ooh.
Well, that's right. I hope it really smacks you hard.
Whoa.
With what genre are you gonna get? If you're even chosen for the WAG contest. So you want to make sure you go ahead and get those submissions in there like
ASAP.
now.
Wag sap.
Yes. You gonna run those, Tone?
These sample songs that he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 3 of them in here to show a couple of different genre highlights.
What's a genre?
Have you signed up yet?
What?
Do it. Don't be scared. Just a wag, baby.
Alright.
We're doing silent form for participants and for the judges. We're only doing 32 waggers this time. We're cutting it math. So you make pace that cut, then you gotta make a pace first, right? Sign up at What's a Genre.
Sorry, I had to improvise, Rusty.
I like the reggae, Rusty. This is the pop.
4, 3, 2, 1.
32 artists from different genres, from all corners of the globe. We're internationally known. Have you signed up yet? Do it. Don't be scared. Just a wag, baby.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Is that you?
Yes. And in the
Is
reggae
it?
track.
I thought I you sneaky little devil.
Well, I said I had to play.
I was
What's
like,
talking shell's about, right?
I was like, I hear Ange, and
Do you
I
want to
thought
play that
I
one
heard.
again, just for the people that may have missed the beginning of the show when we were talking about WAG a little bit? Can you share that video again above you?
Oh, the 2 videos?
Yes, please. Thank you. I'll behave.
Everybody wants to join. Everybody wants to join to watch the genre showdown. Everybody wants to join. Everybody wants to join to watch the genre showdown.
Sorry, I had to improvise.
Lupe.
He did
I,
one loop-de-loop again.
I like that they got Jordy on that track.
Oh, yeah.
And this was Rusty's.
32 artists from different genres, from all corners of the globe. We're internationally known. Have you signed up yet? Do it. Don't be scared. It's just a wag, baby.
Scared. It's just a wag, baby.
See, that's such a
Wag
good
it
job
onto
of,
that form and fill it out.
Oh, and they made a metal sample too, of course.
32 artists from different genres, from all corners of the globe. We're internationally known. Have you signed up yet? Do it. Don't be scared. It's just a wag, baby.
Sorry. Had to improvise.
32 artists from different
And a
genres.
country genre?
Don't be scared. It's just a wag, baby.
Yeah.
What's a genre? No. What's a
genre?
No.
Auto-tune country is wild.
Only.
The
Sign up.
What are you guys talking about?
And what's a genre?
He said, oh, down, and I lost
Sign
it.
up. A sign up form for participants and for the judges. We're going to do this right this time.
I love it.
I'm about to say, wiggity wag, what's in the bag? Blue cheese, collard greens, or is it neo synth folk? I don't know. Could be all the above.
Damn, Cole's gonna have to write a rhyme for it. Commercial.
Over to the left there under the profile, it says this is the official account for What's the Genre Showdown. Follow the profile for hashtag WAG. New signups. So you want to make sure if you didn't catch this form tonight here on the show, that's where you can find it. Hashtag WAG, and it should pull it right up. What's the Genre Showdown?
Yeah, do it soon because they're filling
Or
up.
like the country
Or be a
artist said, a
lagoon.
hoedown.
Yeah.
I lost it there. I was trying to improvise like on everything, but like I lost it. It was just too funny.
It's like swag without the
There's
money.
a
Y'all know I can
hoedown.
do country. Oh my
You're a
gosh.
little bit country and a little bit rock and roll. You definitely cover both sides.
But are you a dark moon goth? Okay?
I got some blues to me.
I want
The
to see.
blues works on both sides.
I want to see you do some freaking Christian black metal. Makes no sense.
See, that's a contradiction.
Like it.
Christian
I
black
like it
metal,
too.
I think, is an impossibility.
I don't think so. I bet you it's already
The
out
universe
there.
might explode if that was the case. It's like, ugh.
Nah, it's I gotta Google this.
No, I think there are actual. Is it Death Heaven? Right? Aren't they? No, they're not. They're not them. I keep thinking about that. Yeah, bands in my head all day. No, there's definitely some Christian black metal bands.
Oh, there is. There's like a lot of them.
Yeah.
You mean it is
Christian metalcore, death metal bands, best Christian death metal bands, Christian brutal death metal bands,
I'm
Christian
not
melodic death metal bands.
I'm not surprised there's a lot of Christian metal bands, but black metal is
Christian black metal playlist all on
specifically like
Apple Music.
the contrast to Christianity. Black metal is all about like.
So look at Tony. It's called unblack metal.
Yes, and that's what like I would figure the people playing
The
it are,
lyrics
like,
are just different. That's all.
yeah, it's all about topic when it comes to black metal. It's about context.
Right.
Unblack metal is black metal and Christian metal.
It's an oxymoron.
Something else.
So once you go to the form, Perot, all the rules are there.
I already submitted mine.
There you go. Well, then, do you want to share the rules with
Mayvai's-
Perot?
Mayvai's
can't go
on
back
the
into the form.
ball.
Oh, okay.
I can edit my response. I can say what they are.
Oh yeah. If you can edit it and you want to, if you're willing to share it, I can bring up the form. But
so, which rules do you want me to say? The terms down at the bottom?
Yeah, like what people have to do.
What did you have to answer? What were the questions?
Oh, okay. So you first off,
Well, okay.
you
Go
start
ahead.
with your email, and then you got to give your band lab tag, your location, your email address, what genre you specialize in, and then what top skills are you bringing to the WAG Showdown. You can accept up to 3.
So, like, you're a guitarist, you're a
I
singer, you're a
put more than
songwriter.
3.
You can probably click them all.
So it'll be starting on
It says
February
up to 3.
1st. And there's 32 contestants. You'll be paired up with someone and you will have to create a genre. The first round will be 16 against 16. The challenge will be to do a collaboration with an artist that you do not choose. They choose for you.
Yeah, he picks them
And
out of a
then,
hat.
yep. And then he has a wheel that says what genre that you will be doing.
So you'll get paired up with someone, and then he'll be like, you need to mash up this genre and this genre.
Right. So the first round will be 16 against 16.
Is it randomly selected what the genres will be? How do they select what
Well,
genres?
he does pick the names from a hat, and
Oh, cool.
he has a wheel for the genres.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
The drawing will be February 1st, so that's when everybody will know. So if you have entered and you have been selected for the WAG contest, that's when you will know who your partner is and what genre you will be creating.
Yeah, and then you'll have a week and a half because the rounds are like every 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's 14
the
days.
1st, the 15th, the 1st of April, the 15th.
You have 7 days to create and submit the track, and then 7 days for judging.
Yeah. So you get a week to put the song together with your collaborator, and then a week of listening, judging, getting the song out there. You're going to want to push that song during that time because the likes and the traffic to the song do help the judges to decide.
Yes.
It's not a popularity contest, though. So that's one thing he learned from the last time, that the likes alone are not going to win the round. It's going to be judges who decide on their merit along with the traffic data.
I think I learned what a genre was and all about the WAG contest tonight. And, share the love with some killer guitarists and artists that are coming up and out.
Yeah,
What do you think?
those guitarists were a treat. That gets me fired up to play.
Is that your loins
yeah.
moist, Tony? What'd you say? Is that your wag walking, your tail freaking swaying?
That's it.
We know your tail, Tony. Don't lie. You got a third leg. We already. That's established.
It's swagger.
Swagger, dude.
Just make sure there's no dingleberries under that tail first if you're going to be like wagging and swinging it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You'll start flinging them.
Right?
I like my.
Or you got those pus pockets.
Oh, gosh.
That's a visual.
Into the realm of the disgust.
Yes.
Actually, that's just a mental smell.
Mental smell is that's wow. Synesthesia much? What is a mental smell? No,
it's something that you think about and like you can remember the sense of the smell of what it smells like.
Oh, that does happen.
I was gonna joke and say, I can visualize that, which then put a third sense into it. I can visualize this.
Right, it would be like me saying like the word lemon. Okay, and automatically you're like in my mind automatically like pinpointed to like the taste of a lemon right now. You know what I mean? Sticking a lemon in my mouth and just making sure I don't swallow any of those seeds.
That's a mental taste.
That's a mental trauma.
I don't know how many seeds I've swallowed on lemons.
I feel like taste and smell are kind of synonymous, even though they are separate, but they also, I feel like that.
I have a question that you brought
Well,
up.
they are, because if you can't
synesthesia.
smell, you can't taste.
I know that. That's what I was going to say.
Smell is the most powerful sense Smell
if
is the
you
most
think
powerful sense
it
we
and
have.
you can taste it, or if you think it and you can smell it, I guess it's kind of like one of those things, like when you go past a poop plant, and it's like, don't like open your mouth.
Everybody does.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's
I
always got to
definitely.
talk like going past it too.
Everybody
Like
does because they know
it's
there's
always
this
that
in there.
moment. Oh no, it's one of those like cover it all up, you
I
know?
always think
I
that.
do it to catch a little buzz. Like, let me get them fumes. Stop playing.
Cole's like, this is a cheap high.
It's like
Oh,
the next
jank
Tide
'em.
Pod challenge.
Yeah, Tide Pod. Yeah. No, but so again, Ange, piggyback. A memory is formed. So you know how people say, "Oh, when they smell something, when they hear a song, it brings them back to a time or a smell or a thing." Right? A memory is formed when two or more senses are combined.
So you have to taste it and smell it.
Why do you associate that teenage romance with this song? Because you have a visual or a sensation or a smell that associates you to that song that brings you back to 1969, which none of us lived back then. But you know,
I see what you're saying.
that's
So yeah, mentally I think of like a lemon and
Pine
I
Sol.
taste the lemon. Okay,
Or Sprite.
okay. There you go. Lemon lime. There you go.
7 Up.
7 Up. Cali Kush. All right.
Well, Tone, I think we talked some IT tonight.
Yeah, we covered a
Thank you,
genre.
Mayvi Cole, Seth.
Oh yeah. Topic got me excited.
Yeah.
In the
So good to have
contest,
Mayvi back.
if you're in the contest, I'm excited to hear what you do.
Oh, wish me luck to get in.
I think
especially what
Good luck.
genres you get thrown, because trust me, there will be at least one you'll be like, man, I've never done that one
I
before.
can do them all except I don't know how to do country.
No.
Yeah, same with
You know,
that one
Perot
should be
said
an
the
easy
same
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
And you know what I said?
thing.
I don't know how to
Make
play
a
country.
ballad and stick on a twang.
Oh, I just gotta pull up my little my North Florida accent here. Hey, I don't know.
Talk about a truck or a dog, a girl. Any one of those work.
After the stream, maybe after the stream, I'll show you my one attempt at country. It was rough.
It's funny though. You look like a country. You definitely look like a country artist.
Oh, he looks like he could be. Yeah.
But I have to tell you guys,
with the
if you
short
want to
hair,
see that
with the
video
short
from
hair, even
Cole,
more.
Yeah.
Cole, can you put that video on your TikTok
What video?
or your Instagram? The one you were just saying about a video of you?
Oh, it's a song.
Oh, a song. Okay. So like that song, like can if I tell everybody right
share it right
now,
now.
like the only way that they can hear this song from you, okay, because it's like it's a special song because I know like you want to share it. So like the only way that they can hear this song right now is if they go subscribe on like your Instagram or TikTok. Which one you want to put it on there?
Oh, I'll share it to you right now through my band lab. How's that sound? Is that fair? We can meet in the middle.
Well, you could share it.
Here, I'll just send it to you right now. You want you?
And now you guys send it to me.
It's not a full song. It's a minute long, but I attempted country, so I tried it for like a second. You can play it. I don't care. I'm open like that.
But oh, you didn't drop it.
I'm dropping it right now. Copy.
Well, give it over.
Yeah, you can play it. This is called Attempted Country. So that's like over a year.
How do you say that in like a Christian way?
What's the phrasing you're trying to get out?
There you go.
Well, give it over.
There it is.
Oh,
There's my
Now.
country, guys. This is from like what, maybe 2 years ago? When did I make? Yeah, 2 years ago. So November 25th, 2023. Good luck.
Nashville, Cole.
Short. It's really short, but yeah.
Country crap.
Yeah, it's crap.
It's the country crap.
I tried. Ugh.
Well, yeah.
We were like a couple boys, didn't know how to catch a fish or even tie our shoes. We would wait for our daddy to come mama said, now don't go to the crate. We went anyways just to have a peek. That's when my uncle got a hold of me, yeah. Well, I don't know, so I pushed away and tried to fight back. He took me down on the ground with one big old smack, and he said he was gonna take my soul, yeah. He looked at me as he punched my chin right in the dirt. He even clawed me up, he even turned my shirt. Yeah, I was just screaming, but no one's home, no, yeah. All in all the wood, I was a howling at the moon. He was drunk as all get out as he beat me and I bruised. Didn't understand, I couldn't help my damaged plan, but I lost it all that night. I lost it all that night when my uncle took my life. When he took my life, oh.
There you go.
I don't know if that I would say that that was like completely country.
You know why? It's because of the chord
I felt
progression.
it
If he
was
would change
country.
go from like to leave the vocals the same and then go back and change the music and root it on
I would
C
do the accent
major,
better next
no, root it on C major versus the A minor, it would probably be a lot more country because
The accent was trash.
Actually, when you brought in the little twangy guitar, the
Yeah.
top lead, when you brought in that, it was officially country, because it's that little twangy, slidey lead that you have to call that country. It's the country sound.
And in the beginning, I was hearing like Pearl Jam.
Yeah, I would definitely do the accent a lot better if I did it now, you know, but more like, well, something like that. You know?
I could tell you were trying to put your
I was
country
trying, but I wasn't
into
doing
it.
it.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing it justice. I was doing a real bad job there with that one for sure.
This is Nashville Cole. He's my cousin from Nashville.
Yeah, it wasn't as
Well, there was-
powerful as it could have been.
It's kind of like that video earlier, you know, with all the different people with the genres.
Yeah.
You know, as artists, we put ourselves in character a lot of times when we create songs, especially when stepping out your genres. So it's like a happy Halloween for this season of the WAG.
This season of the WAG.
Wag that tail, Ange.
I did.
Or you can go this route. Here's 58 seconds of something different, way different. Here you go, bang. Another freaking random outburst. There's 58 seconds. Here you go. Something totally different. I played it on my ukulele. You want to see my ukulele? I'll get it right now.
There's your shortest song. We were asking earlier, like, what's your shortest song?
This is like a ukulele song. I don't know. It's also a crappy song. Sucks, but
I
don't care.
Bat.
And also crap. Yeah. Okay.
I love it. I was hearing Mr. Jones lend me.
Yeah, I tend to back to the 90s again. So yeah, I tend to have a 90. Yeah, but see, even that, I have a sound, but you know, I can go out and try to branch out the sound.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, there's your wags
Awesome.
of the day, guys. There's the Cole Test wag. They will never hear those songs ever again. This is not public. they're embarrassing to play, but you know what? Gotta do it.
Yes. Tony's muted. Or he doesn't have sound, which means his headset battery died. Right? Yep. Okay. Check, check. Yep, there it is. Lapel. Let me watch. Let's see if he gets it back, at least for a few minutes. But if he dies again, that's why. It's good to talk. Shh. It is working. Yeah.
Is my baseball bat like my ding-a-ling? Is it a metaphor?
My friend years ago, when I was in a band with him, in a math rock band, he had a song called "My Baseball Bat" about like beating the crap out of this guy who dated his ex-girlfriend.
Oh,
and so I was like, I'm gonna just call it that, just an homage to him. That was it. Yeah.
I was thinking like my ding-a-ling.
Ding-a-ling.
Well, Tone, do you want to pull up the
Oh,
intro
yeah.
outro for talking IT?
I got her fired up.
Awesome. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us, Mayvi and Cole. Make sure to like, follow both of these artists. Do you understand? Yes. Like, share, and follow. And if you haven't already, well, shame on you. That's just saying. Shame on you.
Oh, I
Or
won't feel bad if you
shame.
don't. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, I'm just screwing with you. You know that. I'm
Oh,
sharing the
oh,
love
Mayvi.
all over the place. All right. Well, have a good night, everyone.
Night, everyone.
Talk shh.
Bye-bye.
Later.
How to rain, compose, and the art of arranging. Taking a look at AI and how the times have changed. On a PC or a Mac and even with a mobile device, we'll be talking about it all every Thursday night. From software to plugins and synths that entice. Dive deep into tech and let creativity take flight. Talking IT. We're talking IT. Come and join in and have some fun. It's highly educational with a lot to learn. From bedroom producers to seasoned pros, we're breaking it down so knowledge grows. Whether you're a DJ or a beat making wizard, we got the tips and tricks to make your sound sizzle. Mixing and mastering, that's our jam. With the tutorials and tips on how much rap. Get the best quality from your setup and gear. Tune in every week and lend us your ear. We're talking IT. Come and join in and have some fun. It's highly educational with a lot to learn.